Offset printing presses are widely available. So if an entire stamp was printed using that technology, counterfeiters would have it easy. Intaglio printing presses, on the other hand, are harder to come by, making fake stamps more difficult to reproduce, so you can be sure they come with a stamp of approval. The sheets first run through the offset press. It prints one colour at a time, inking a separate printing plate for each colour. The plate is wrapped around a cylinder. As it revolves, the plate transfers or offsets the ink image to the rubber cylinder rotating against it. As that cylinder turns, it transfers the image to the paper passing underneath. A postal service official inspects the press output. Using a magnifying glass, she scrutinises the colour and print quality, circling any problem areas for the press operator to investigate and correct. Now the offset printed sheets move onto the intaglio press. The intaglio Shablon rollers spread ink over the printing plate the factory produced from the engraving. The ink fills the recessed lines of the image. The press runs the plate against the paper sheets, transferring the image. Intaglio printing leaves ink slightly raised above the surface of the paper, giving the image a sense of depth. Once again, an inspector checks the results. It's up to the press operator to correct any errors, the cause of which may be as simple as a speck of dirt in the machine. Now that the printing has been done, the stamp sheets are loaded into a computer-guided perforating machine. Grippers pull the sheets forward, one section at a time. A die with rows of steel pins, each just 1 millimeter in diameter, punches through the sheet, framing each stamp with tiny holes spaced precisely 1.5 millimeters apart. The machine knows where to punch these perforations by reading the line of fluorescent ink that runs along the borders of each stamp. This ink, called tagging, is visible only under ultraviolet light. The automated machines that process mail at the sorting plants are programmed to scan for tagging. All post without it will be rejected. After the perforated sheets have been stacked, they're trimmed down to the finished size. The trimming machine is called the guillotine, but unlike the head-chopping version, this one slices with a sideways shearing action that puts less wear on the blade. The machine holds the stack in place with 4,000 kilograms of pressure so that it doesn't budge under the weight of the blade. The blade weighs in at almost 32 kilos. Now it's time to group the sheets into manageable sized packs for post offices and other stamp retailers. This machine is called a vacuumatic counter because it uses suction to draw the sheets across a paddle wheel which counts them. This stack adds up to 503 sheets, so the worker removes 3 to make an even 500. The counter inserts a tab between every 50. Some stamps go through what's known as bursting, the process of manually separating pairs of stamps for different product lines, such as gift sets. Some burst stamps go onto first day cover envelopes, one popular collector's item. An automated pad picks up the stamps and runs them against a wet roller that activates the adhesive on the back. After a worker positions an envelope against a guide bar, the pad places the stamps in a precise spot and applies even pressure over them, so that they'll lay flat and stick securely. Some stamps are still the old lick and stick type, printed on paper that's coated with a moisture-activated adhesive on the back side. However, the most commonly issued stamps, known as definitives, are printed on pressure-sensitive paper. That's the technical term for peel and stick. No water or saliva required.
never slow up, no I don't take shit, I got no love